Hello everyone, here we are again to discuss another mind-blowing sense organ of human body, the ear. Ear is considered as one of the complex sense organs. It contains two kinds of receptors inside the ear. One of them specialized to receive the sound, and the second is for determination of body position and balance. They are extremely sensitive to variations in sound and gravity. The ear is composed of the outer ear, middle ear, and the inner ear. The outmost distinct part here is a pinna. This has an elastic cartilaginous tissue. It captures, collects, and directs sound waves to auditory canal. And the auditory canal is this tube lined with skin containing hairs and cerumen, that is, ear wax. This hair and the cerumen are there to hold and filter dust, small organisms, and solid particles. It also lubricates the canal and the eardrum. The yellowish semi-liquid thing that you wipe out when you're cleaning the ear is the cerumen containing dust and other particles trapped. Now the function of the canal itself is to conduct the sound waves collected by the pinna towards the eardrum. You will sometimes see this canal as mucus. And the auditory canal is leading to the eardrum, that is thin, half-transparent membrane and is composed of fine collagen fibers. It is being vibrated by sound waves and transmits that vibrations to the ossicles in the middle ear. And eardrum separates outer ear from middle ear. It is also named as tympanic membrane. The middle ear here is involved in transfer of sound vibrations to inner ear. As you notice, it will no longer say sound waves. It is now sound vibrations in the middle ear. This part is composed of the ear ossicles and the eustachian tube. Now, the ossicles are small three bones situated in the middle ear. They are hammer, anvil, and stapes respectively. The hammer is connected with eardrum from one side and with anvil from other side, and it transmits vibrations to the anvil, while the anvil is located between the hammer and stapes and connects with each of them. Then the stapes fits into oval window and acts as a small piston and transmits vibrations to the oval window, which is a part of inner ear. Let me write the other names of these ossicles. So it's gonna be malleus for hammer, incus for anvil, and stirrup for stapes. While the ossicles transfer the sound vibrations, they also amplify the sound. The area of the tympanic membrane is much larger than the area of the stapes foot plate or oval window. Therefore, the sound is amplified 20 times in the middle ear. Larger area collecting the sound and focusing that into smaller area. There is an eustachian tube forming a connection between the pharynx and the middle ear. The tip of eustachian tube is closed by the sphincter valve to facilitate better hearing. The function of a eustachian tube is to equalize the air pressure on both sides of the eardrum. It is important to maintain equalized pressure on the sides of the eardrum, otherwise a pain on eardrum might occur. That's what happens when you are on flight. A rapid change in altitude may cause air pressure imbalance between the outer ear and middle ear, because the eustachian tube often can't react fast enough to adapt to change in air pressure. The eardrum will be under stress and will be aching. This can be balanced by forcing the eustachian tube to open by yawning or swallowing. Let's now move to the inner ear. Unlike other two sections, the inner ear is filled with liquid, perilymph as outer liquid and endolymph as inner liquid. There is an oval window separating middle ear from inner ear. It transmits pressure waves to the perilymph in the inner ear, then are taken further to another liquid which is called endolymph. The endolymph is found in cochlea here. This is a spiral coil structure consists of bony parts called basilar bone. The cochlea has sound receptors called organ of Corti. Now the endolymph is here, transfers the vibration into organ of Corti, stimulating the receptor cells. The impulses are generated from that stimuli and transmitted by auditory nerve here into hearing center of the brain, which is cerebrum. There is another membranous small opening under the oval window called round window. This prevents pressure buildup of waves and hence distortion and sound reflection in the cochlea. We can also say that it prevents echo formed in the cochlea. Besides the hearing, the inner ear is involved in maintenance of the body balance and equilibrium as well. And that is done by the vestibular system here. that is composed of semicircular canals. Here they are, 3 bony tubes, and vestibule here. This vestibule has 2 chambers that are utricle and saccule just below it. Then there is a vestibular nerve, a branch of auditory nerve that is taking the impulses generated according to your body position to the cerebellum in the brain. So this is it as ear parts. Now this is another structure of ear. Let's quickly label this all. Number 1 is going to be outermost cartilaginous part of it, which is pinna. Then the number 2 is a canal which is transferring the sound waves. It's going to be auditory canal or meatus. And number 3 is going to be a tympanic membrane or the eardrum. Number 4 is going to be the first bone of the ossicles, which is called hammer or malleus. Number 5 is going to be the middle one of these ossicles, which is anvil or incus. And number 6 is going to be the last of the ossicles, which is going to be stirrup or stapes. Number 7 is a place of the stapes which is contacting the inner ear, which will be foot plate or the oval window. Number 8 is going to be the eustachian tube, which is equalizing the both sides of eardrum. Then number 9, this is another window situated in the inner ear, that is round window, preventing the pressure build in the cochlea. Then number 10 is going to be a coiled structure in the inner ear, which is cochlea. This cochlea has receptor cells called organ of Corti. The number 11 is going to be 2 branches named as auditory nerve. As individuals, the upper one is going to be vestibular nerve and the lower one is going to be cochlear nerve. Number 12 is going to be a semicircular canals which is used for balance of the body. And number 13 is a part of ear which we didn't mention yet. That's going to be a bone protecting the ear called temporal bones. And number 14 here is a section of the ear which is outer ear. Number 15 is obviously middle ear. And number 16 is going to be inner ear. Right, here is a diagram that shows us the path of sound through ears. The pinna of the outer ear collects the sound, transferring that to the eardrum along the auditory canal, and eardrum is vibrated by sound waves, and now the vibrations are transmitted by ossicles in the middle ear, and ossicles amplify the sound as you see here. Then oval window takes vibration to the fluid in the cochlea of inner ear, and the hair cells or receptor cells in the organ of Corti convert this into nerve impulses and transmit it to brain by auditory nerves. These all are about the hearing process. Now, regarding the next important function of the ear as balance and equilibrium, the vestibular system is involved here. It is found in the inner ear, as we saw early in this lesson. It is concerned with balance and equilibrium of the body. The vestibular system in each ear consists of 3 semicircular canals and vestibule, which has 2 chambers known as the utricle and saccule. Detection of change in movement of the head in all directions is the work of vestibular system. The brain, eyes, musculoskeletal system all work with the vestibular system to maintain balance and control dizziness. Now, each semicircular canal has the base called ampulla. The ampulla of each canal contains receptors called crista that can determine the speed of rotation of the head. The crista at the base of each canal contain clusters of nerve cells with hair-like projections protruding into a gelatinous substance known as the cupula. When the head is upright, the nerve cells fire at a constant frequency, sending a constant stream of signal to the brain. When rotating your head, the cupula becomes distorted by the flow of endolymph and bends the hair cells here. The faster the head is rotated, the more the cilia bend. The other 2 fluid-filled chambers, the utricle and saccule, detect the position of the head relative to gravity. Inside the utriculus and the sacculus, there are receptors called macula. This is a structure of macula. They are hair cells. Projections protrude into a thick gelatinous substance covered by calcium carbonate crystals called otoliths. Now, when the direction of the head changes, gravitational pull stimulates the macula in the sacculus and utriculus. These tiny crystals in the thick gelatinous fluid are pulled by gravity and cause the hair cells to bend. Within the crista and macula, the stimuli are converted into impulses. These impulses are sent to the brain by the vestibular branch of the auditory nerve to the cerebellum for interpretation to restore balance. Now, there are some ear defects here, like middle ear infections. These infections are the most common cause of earache. Microorganisms cause the production of fluids in the middle ear. The fluid cannot then drain through the eustachian tube as it is swollen, inflamed, or clogged. The accumulation of the fluids increases pressure inside the middle ear, causing the ear to ache. Some treatments are antibiotics, ear and nose drops, surgical procedure, or use of grommet, which is a tiny tube that is inserted into the eardrum to allow air to enter the middle ear until the eustachian tube recovers. Now, deafness and difficulty hearing. These can be categorized as temporary deafness and permanent deafness. Temporary deafness or conductive deafness involves a problem in the outer or middle ear. When the eardrum or ossicles are not functioning, the transmission of vibrations into inner ear is prevented. This type of deafness is usually of a temporary nature and can be treated medically. Permanent deafness or neural deafness involves a problem in the inner ear, including damage to organ of corti, auditory nerves, or hearing center in brain. This type of deafness is usually of permanent nature and require rehabilitation such as hearing aid or cochlear implants. Now, here are some questions for us to revise. Question 1.1 asks us to provide labels for parts A, C, and D respectively. So the A is gonna be eardrum, C here, 102 windows, the upper one is gonna be owl window, and the lower one round window. Then question 1.2 state one function for parts B and D. Part B here is showing the ossicles, and the function of the ossicles is going to be transmission of vibrations from outer ear to inner ear. We can also say it amplifies the sound waves. Here the answer. And for part D, which is a round window, which is preventing the pressure buildup of waves in the cochlea. So here are the answers. Prevents pressure buildup of waves, absorbs pressure wave setup by tympanic canal of the inner ear, is sound waves out of inner ear, prevents sound waves from moving backwards in perilymph. Then question 1.3, so this is talking about A and C, which is the eardrum and the oval window. We know that the amplification here is happening because of the difference of the areas of eardrum and oval window. So answer is going to be tympanic membrane has a larger surface than the oval window. Then the question number 1.4, explain what will happen if part E is blocked with mucus. Part E is an eustachian tube. If it is blocked with mucus, it means that it has a middle ear infection. And what will happen if it is blocked? Ossicles will not vibrate freely to transmit vibrations to the inner ear, causing partial deafness, or cannot equalize pressure on either sides of the tympanic membrane or the eardrum, leading to pain. Middle ear infection, a burst of eardrum, vibrations not being transmitted, or partial deafness. You can answer this with any of these answers here. We have one more diagram here. Identify the receptors A and B. This question is about the vestibular system of the inner ear. So A is going to be the receptor that is found in the basal membrane of the semicircular canal, which is crista. And B is going to be another receptor that is found in the vestibule, saccule or utricle, that is macula. Remember, the macula was detecting the position of your head relative to the gravity. Next question, describe how balance and equilibrium is maintained by the human body. In this question, we should write as a point form, a sudden change in speed and direction cause the endolymph within the semicircular canals to move, and the movements of endolymph stimulates the receptors called crista. Remember, cristas are found in the semicircular canals, within the ampulla situated at the base of each semicircular canals. When the direction of the head changes, gravitational pulse stimulates different receptors called macula within the sacculus and utriculus. Within the crista and the macula, the stimuli are converted into nerve impulses then are transmitted by auditory nerve to the cerebellum. So this is a way how the balance and the equilibrium is maintained in the human body, guys. Right, this is end of this lesson. Please thumbs up if you like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned, and I will see you in the next lesson.